The funny thing is, how is it, someone can come out to see me, right? You know, and I'm basically giving the lessons, almost 8 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? But then you try to say like, oh yeah, that sound you hear right now, you got that from me. How? How, Sway? Does come with a cost. And the cost is your soul. That's what people really aren't, communicating. You know, the cost of the game is your soul. And, you know, a lot of people say that they have it, whatever, like that. It's more so, on them instead of just being, imparted in them. You know, they didn't really, they weren't, you know, sought out, nor did they actually seek out exactly what game is. So they have all these different versions. They say it's a strategy and all this other meaningless things, right? You can't really go off of, what Webster is saying, but you can go off of what I'm saying. You know, this is all about initiation. You know, back when, my day, back when I was around, there was an initiation. There was a certain apprenticeship. There was, conversations that were had, as they say in the back room, the upper room, the chambers. You know, those conversations that basically, size you up, to test you out, to see if you're actually built, for this life. They know it. Just really want to find out if you know it or not. You know, some people have these other notions that, it's some type of luck, which I totally disagree that, game is luck, you know, because luck happens by chance. Whereas, game, to me, based on what I know, in a sense, is an introduction. It's something that you seek. Then things are added onto you. It's something that you seek. It's an introduction. It introduces itself to you. You introduce yourself to it. It's not something that's vengeful. Most people like to say it's vengeful or some type of, defense mechanism. It's really no defense mechanism, you know. Now, people say that there's principles and rules and laws, regulations to this. You're incorrect. But the violation of those things, right, is what actually punishes you. It's not the game that punishes you. You punish yourself into it by playing yourself, essentially. Let me give you an example. There's this, unwritten, law where you always have to check disrespect. That's like, there is a law, there is a rule. Disrespect is something that, should never be tolerated in any circumstance. Now this is, if you believe that you are who you are, you have to understand that that violates the law by not checking it. And you'll basically be seen as what? A fraud, a clown, a doormat, a nut. Now, is that the game's fault? Or is that your fault? Now I'm just speaking from just the standpoint, not of the standpoint of a Mac, not a standpoint of a pimp, but a standpoint of someone that's actually initiating into this.
the first, you know, rule, the first law, the first regulation, if there's anyone, right? We'll just put it in a sense of just being unwritten is, you know, checking all types of disrespect, low key, mid key, high key. Okay. So you have to understand that, okay, this unwritten thing, right? It transcends, in the dynamics of all relationships. Now, if people are just relating to you through disrespecting you, by disrespecting you, then there's a problem essentially with that. Now, there's the other unwritten rule I like to call, good things, you know, good things are good things. Appreciate good things as good things and just understand it don't last forever. And that, bad habits are impossible to break. Now, essentially, is a bad habit if you're basically, because you're going about things in a bit of an unseen, way. Most people like to call that the whole, cop and blow. They got that from the pimps or whatever like that. But, it's really essentially just, you know, taking things for what it's worth and dealing with it accordingly within the time frame of it. Now, this is something else that basically transcends, right? Through the dynamics of, these relationships, these interactions. So you can see that this works in every aspect through corporate America down to the street corner. Everything I'm basically telling you connects all the way around, you know, all across the board, from the boardroom to the block. Disrespect and understanding that, you know, everything has an expiration date. Now, if you look at the aspect of that, like you look at, yeah, you can, be chosen, you know, look, let me give you another example. We'll use corporate America. We'll keep it neat and clean. Now you can, be chosen to, to work, you know, it's your dream job, and you're making strides, within your dream job. Then boom, all of a sudden that dream job gives you the pink slip. That's an example of what good things don't last and bad habits are hard to break because there's always a cutoff point. Hopefully y'all get that. So the game doesn't reward or punish you. You reward or punish yourself in it. Another aspect, to me, it is spiritual. It's not the game and spirit. If we're talking about this, this is when you have the spirit of the game. And when you have the spirit of the game is what? A byproduct. The results of the byproduct of that. Like if you have it, right? This is what it actually looks like. If you were to actually put it in a cup, how would you measure it? How tall would it be if you were to put, the tape, see the height of it? What is the height of your game? What is the measure of your game? If you could actually grasp, it in your hands, how would it actually feel? Would it be like water? See, you only see the results or the byproducts of it, but not it within itself. For an example, what is a byproduct of it? Mentality. That's a byproduct of it. Conversation. It's a byproduct of it. You know, remember 93% is gesture. Influence. Or we say power. It's also a byproduct of it. You know, large assortment of women, money. That's also a byproduct of it. You know, people can tell you about game, and this is how, you know, majority of the people actually, you know, get it. But where they get confused more often than not is that, you know, they're not students of it. It's not something that's in them. As they say, it's, you know, people say, oh yeah, it's in you. It's not on you. No, it's when it's in you, you're possessed by it, and it possesses you. As I said before, it's a cost. What does it cost you? It costs you your soul. And you know, when you basically have it, it will reveal itself to you as well as others. You know, you just get those hunches. You know, that feeling in your gut about your next move. You know, or a particular person. And if you follow that, it will always be your best move. This goes beyond, you know, women. Now, the one thing that I can't prove to you, right?